If anything personal to say, it's too late. Alright, I was saying that already. We were live when I was already saying that. So, what's up, everyone? This is Andres We Start. We are doing Nintendo Super Podcast again, and this is our post E3 discussion. So, get hyped, get excited. We have a lot to talk about. Anyways, we got the full team tonight. Inside Gaming Online is back and ready to go. What's up, man? How's it going?
What's going on, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back, though. And then, of course, Monolith Gaming, younger Sean is here, and then our newest member, Brandon from WhataboutNintendo. We're all here and ready to go.
What's up?
So how's everyone feeling, like, in general? You guys feel pretty good? Just life, Nintendo. How's Nintendo? How are your Nintendo lives going?
Dude, the best.
Going all right.
Just okay.
I've been cheating. I've been playing other systems.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
you bastards! How could you?
I've even been going back to Atari. So
It's close.
Man, I can't believe it. That is
Like
a shame. Now, I'm actually making sure everything's running well. Okay, so we're good. Show's ready to go.
equal opportunist gamer.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course, you play what matters, what's interesting, what's fun. Like, it doesn't. That's just the way that goes.
No, it's not Nintendo. It's not allowed.
I play the stuff that nobody else plays. So
Yeah, like what? Like the retro stuff, or even worse?
yeah, like I've been playing the Atari Jaguar the last couple days.
Oh,
Alien vs Predator.
what? Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that on your backdrop you have actually some old systems there.
I know. I actually took the time to get on Twitter. And I've just been out of the mix for a while. Like the whole E3 thing, it just came at the wrong time too. But I've pretty much caught up on everything now. Had a chance to check out all of the press conferences and stuff like that. And
That's good.
of course, just like everybody else, I'm going to give you my opinion.
Yeah, of course. So
What
I mean,
happened?
I guess, oh, by the way, shout out to What About Mudkips, welcome. And, I guess, we should get this show on the road, right? So, I don't know, just a lot to talk about. I'm not sure where I should start, but I guess I'll start with, the topics. I think I wrote them down, right? So, first off, we're going to go over our predictions, like what we predicted before the show, and what actually came true. So, I'll start with mine, just to kind of get things flowing, rolling. I predicted, like, different things. Like, I was kind of all over the place. But the one thing I kept on saying that people were like, oh, I don't know, man, I don't think it's going to happen, was a Metroid Prime teaser. I got it right. And that was, I mean, I was surprised I got it right. I was surprised. Sean, you said you got it too?
Yeah. Except for I said that I thought it was going to end the presentation with it.
Right, we thought, we didn't realize that, I didn't think it would be, like, in the middle, right? But they ended the show with Mario
it's so
Odyssey.
Weird.
But, yeah, it's kind of incredible how we got that right. And, I mean, I was kind of hyping this up based off a rumor. I didn't really believe this, but I even went off and said during one of my hype, not, really believe predictions, that there would be 2 Metroids. And we got 2 Metroids. Of course, I thought they'd both be for the Switch. No, one of them's for the 3DS, but it still looks pretty awesome. I mean, Samus Returns just looks really, really good, and I'm super stoked for that.
I will say I did get, when we were on the show, I did talk about the Metroid, the second one being on the 3DS and being 2D.
Yeah.
completely, like, I was not really actually expecting that to happen, but I'm just saying.
Huh.
No. When they showed 2 Metroids, I immediately thought, dude, Andres was right. How even?
I know, that's kind of crazy. Like, I mean, but what other predictions aside from Metroid? I mean, I kind of, like, guessed that maybe we would see something else for Pokemon. Like, Eurogamer reported that there was a Pokemon game coming to Switch. Now, it's not anything from Ultra Sun and Moon, apparently, right? It's something else altogether, which is kind of weird, but there was a Pokemon game, a mainline Pokemon game confirmed for Switch. So, that's another prediction I kind of got right, though I thought it would be more in line with Pokemon Stars. But we really don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We just know it's a mainline Pokemon game, and I get that's honestly to me that's the main point. It's a mainline Pokemon game. That's what I want. That's what the world wants, and it's coming finally. So, I mean it's amazing. So yeah, I'm not. The two predictions that I really wanted to come true came true, and that's kind of amazing. I'm surprised I got those right. I don't know. Of course, they're kind of based off rumors already, so some of the rumors are sort of true, which is, I guess, in and of itself kind of weird. Like, there's so many rumors out there that are actually coming true. Not all of them, but some of them, and it's interesting. So,
Right.
yeah. IGO, Sean, did you have any expectations going into the show that actually happened or didn't happen?
Well, I thought like months ago that there would probably be some kind of Zelda stuff in Skyrim, and that came true.
Yeah.
I kind of knew about that Ubisoft stuff, so that really wasn't surprising to me.
Yeah. I also thought there'd be Zelda stuff. I was surprised to see Beyond Good and Evil, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was... I mean, it still looks like it's really far off, but they showed it. So, like, if it was Nintendo's case, if they had Beyond Good and Evil, I don't think they would have showed it off because it's way too far. It looks like it may not even come out next year.
Yeah, all I know is there was a lot of crying going on at the Ubisoft press conference.
Right?
Right, the developer was crying. When Shigeru came out...
It started with crying, and it ended with crying. So, actually, I thought that Ubisoft did a great job because I kind of got tired of the way they've been doing it the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a good show. And they announced a bunch of Nintendo Switch games, which is, pretty cool.
Right.
Happy about Metroid. I know a lot of people are bitching and complaining because it's not Retro Studios, but those people have to remember that the Retro Studios that made those games isn't the Retro Studios that exist now. A lot of those people left and went to different companies.
And they're still a great developer, but they are a different developer. So that's...
And I think that Nintendo's going to do it right because look at what they've done with Zelda. They pretty much
Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's actually a point I want to talk about. I may make an entire video about it at some point, but like, Nintendo's changed so much internally. They've changed a lot of the people who are working higher up. They've restructured their development, their development houses. It's all different now. So like when people make predictions or assumptions on what Nintendo's going to do based off their past, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. Like, no one thought Metroid would happen, but I thought it would because I'm kind of paying attention to what Nintendo's doing now. Like, no one would think Pokemon would be on the Switch, right? If it's a home console, quote unquote. But if we take into consideration that Nintendo's doing things differently now, maybe that opens up that possibility. And sure enough, Pokemon's coming. So the point I'm getting at is that they have this new philosophy. If you go back and check some of the interviews that Miyamoto had about Mario Odyssey, it wasn't that the Breath of the Wild team had influence on the Mario Odyssey team. They were kind of separate entirely. But this core philosophy that they have now is leading to these big, open, super immersive games, even more than before. And I think we're going to see something similar with Metroid. I mean, it's being made by an in-house developer, and the guy who made the original Metroid Prime, he's at the head of it. So I have full confidence that this game's going to be at the same AAA level as Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. And, I mean...
I agree.
It's just... Yeah. And that's extremely exciting. Now, the question is, when is it going to come? But we'll save that topic for later on. So, is there any sort of other predictions or expectations you guys had for the show that you guys want to talk about?
Did any of you guys, I'm pretty sure Andres might have, but did anyone else guess that Xenoblade wasn't going to be delayed?
No, I actually guessed that it would be delayed, so...
Yeah, I remember.
A lot of my predictions were wrong.
I predicted... Go on.
The only thing I got right other than Metroid, and I only got the half right because I thought it would be made by Retro Studios, was that the third-party support wouldn't be that great.
Right.
Anything else, they didn't show Pikmin 4 like I thought, they didn't delay Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and they didn't show Smash Brothers, which were my other more realistic expectations. None of those other ones came true.
Yeah.
And I was like, at least Xenoblade wasn't delayed.
Yeah, I think it's such a good thing that it's not delayed.
Sean, heads up. Heads up, Sean. Your audio is a little. It sounds really robotic. I don't know if there's something wrong with your microphone. You sound like a robot. You're
That's weird.
yeah.
Just a heads up. I don't know what to use to fix that. So.
Oh gosh.
Just rope your.
How's this? How's this?
It sounds a lot better actually.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy fix.
Weird. Anyways, well, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I was saying, I think it's such a good thing that it wasn't delayed, and I knew right when they started the trailer that it wasn't going to be a delay because it was the first game that they were showing, which is also surprising. But they wouldn't
Right.
show the first game that they show wouldn't be a delayed game, which is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
The
you know,
strange thing for
I
me
got it wrong
was-
too. Actually, sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to make this quick point. Like I got it wrong too. I predicted Xenoblade would probably be delayed, but the only reason I said that was because everyone on the internet was saying it's gonna get delayed, it's gonna get delayed, it's gonna get delayed. And initially, I was arguing against it, but I actually kind of
Yeah, me too.
let the opinions of others sway me to thinking it would be delayed, mainly because everyone was just saying it. But my initial gut was that it wouldn't be delayed because Nintendo's on a different path right now, and I mean I got it wrong. I'm not trying to get credit for something I got wrong. I'm just saying that I feel like there's this sense of negativity about Nintendo and everything getting delayed and things never working out that people just always assume the worst.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's why I
that.
stay off YouTube.
Yeah, just don't watch us. Just get off, everyone. Just stay in the closet. Don't pay
48 hour
attention.
blackout.
Yeah, but I just think I'm happy the game's coming, and I just feel like a lot of people are being a little bit too negative, and maybe if we just try to consider things from our own perspectives, maybe we'll have a better idea of what's going on. But to your point, Sean, what were you? Just yeah.
I was just gonna say, although it is not delayed, I do think that the game kind of doesn't graphically look good.
Yeah,
At
I
all.
think it looks a little.
Well, during the
Yeah, they said that they're polishing it.
they were polishing it. Yeah, they said the graphics weren't done yet and they were still fixing things. I thought it looked amazing.
I
Graphically,
think
I thought it looked ugly.
it has the potential to look amazing, but I
Okay.
think it's rough around the edges, right? It's rough around the
Yeah.
edges. But
There was a little roughness to it.
right, but I mean,
think
yeah, go on, Brandon.
it just needed a little bit of shining up,
Yeah.
Also, what I was going to say earlier is the strange thing is when I was watching the trailer, I was having all kinds of technical problems on my live stream, so I didn't actually get to see it, and so I didn't know that it wasn't delayed until way later. And so I was just like, oh man, are they going to announce that it's delayed or not? I was just so confused.
Yeah, no,
But then I was
they
like,
said holiday 2017. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they did during the trailer, but I couldn't see it,
Right, no, I
which
get it.
was it
yeah.
bugged me.
Yeah,
I just thought it was
yeah. But to anyone who's actually worried about how the game's gonna look, I mean, yeah, it didn't look amazing at E3, but keep in mind this is probably a build that's already a month or two old, and those last 6
Yeah,
months,
or
especially
more.
with Nintendo games, that's when they usually make a really big visual jump. So they even felt they need to
Yeah.
say it. Normally Nintendo doesn't even say that.
Yeah.
They didn't even say, "Oh, this game's gonna look a lot better." When they say it, that probably means even more so. Maybe.
Yeah. Especially,
So-
you guys remember, I don't know if you guys did this, but when they showed off the Switch version of Zelda Breath of the Wild, they didn't give us any more Wii U version to go along with it, so I thought there was a massive upgrade. Because from the time of E3 until that new footage, which was less than 6 months, or it was about 6 months, it looked way better, incredibly so. And so they could be the same thing for this game as well. I thought it was just that the Switch version was a lot better.
Right,
I didn't
no,
even think the Wii U
that's
version
true.
could
Right,
handle
no,
it.
the Wii U version looks pretty much the same, minus a difference in resolution. Yeah, it's just that it made that much of a jump. And there are tons of other games that are like that. I mean, Yoshi's Woolly World's one of them. I remember tons of people were complaining about remember 3D World when it was first shown off, and everyone. I was disappointed because it was based off cats. It just seemed a little lame to me. But I mean, granted, it was actually pretty fun. But I was overall disappointed. I thought it didn't look that good. But once it came out 6 months later, it made a really nice visual jump. And just kind of like the development cycle we've seen for a lot of Nintendo games. Those last 6 months, they make a big difference for the overall polish of and look of the game. So I wouldn't
just
worry about
think-
it. Not yet.
I just think as long as it looks as good as X did, then I'll be fine with it. I mean, I don't for some reason I don't think it looks even close to as good as X did. But as long as the final thing looks as good.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, Splatoon 2 is confirmed to be 1080p 60, and it was 720p 60 before.
Yep.
Like,
Right.
even in the latest demo we got to play, which was only like 2 months ago, 3
Right.
months ago, it was
And-
720p, and they confirmed it's 1080 now.
Yeah.
I know Andres was infatuated with those fingers in that game.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so bad.
The box fingers.
I do not like those square fingers. That is the worst thing about this Splatoon game. They just
They'll
look
be smoothed over.
awkward.
Final.
They will not be smoothed over.
It's
I
cool.
know that is a design choice, and it is a bad one. But aside from that, Splatoon looks really, really awesome. I couldn't be more excited
Yeah.
for it. But
Yeah, me too.
those square fingers, I have to drop my score at least 1 point. So 7.9, too many square fingers. But you know.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not too worried about Xenoblade. So, is there anything else that we predicted? I actually predicted that Smash and Pikmin wouldn't be at the show, and I was right about that. And it's not that I don't think they're not deep into development. I think they are. I just think it's not something Nintendo wanted to show off. Like, I think it's kind of weird how that works. Like, they were willing to show off Metroid, and they didn't show it off. They announced Metroid and Pokemon. But they didn't show off Smash or Pikmin 4. And we know 100% for a fact that Pikmin 4 has been deep into development for a long time already. So it's not like they couldn't have shown it off.
Yeah.
They just chose not to. But they did show off footage. You go first, Brandon.
No, keep going. Oh, fine. I do think that maybe eventually they'll come out with like a... I think what they're going to do is E3 and then January Directs, like over and over again, like they did for the reveal or the massive unveiling of the Switch. I think there's going to be like 2 big E3s. Like, there's E3 for PlayStation, but then they have their PlayStation like event as well. So I think Nintendo might do that. Maybe they'll show off Pikmin there. But yeah, just a thought.
No, I definitely think there's going to be, like, if you look at what Nintendo's been doing over the last few years, they have 2 big, like, blowout events. They have E3, and then they have, like, the December-January slot where they show off even more stuff. I think that's probably, yeah, you're right. I think we may see Pikmin there. We may see more Kirby. We may see more Yoshi. That's maybe when we'll get a Smash Bros. Announcement. These are kind of... But I think it's going to be more focused on games that are going to be coming between January and E3, right? So, like, it's kind of one of those things where, like, I guarantee you, come November time, right, people are going to be like, oh, Nintendo has no games next year. There's nothing coming. Then a month later, there's going to be a direct, oh, Kirby, Yoshi, Pikmin 4, and Smash are all coming out within 4 months. Bye. You know? So, like, that's the way Nintendo's been doing things now, but, like, I really feel like people are just way too negative on the internet. They just assume everything bad is going to happen. And I understand keeping your expectations
What are you
in
talking
check.
about? The internet's always a happy place.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, guys. I'm sorry. It's just, yeah. I was just wrong.
I have yet to see a single negative video on YouTube.
Never?
Right?
Oh, that's because you've been staying away from YouTube. That's the problem.
It just being positive is not cool. So
You're right.
you're
It's
not
just
gonna see.
wrong. I mean, here's the thing, though. I actually got into an argument from, I'm going to assume is now one of my ex-subscribers on my last video, because I made a video about Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon maybe actually coming out in 2018. I tried to make an argument for that. And then one of my subscribers, who I think unsubscribed and disliked the video, got into an argument about it. And I like doing debate, but, like, he just refused to believe that 2018 would be coming out. He tried to make his own argument for it, but a lot of it was kind of, like, very passionate, and ultimately eventually made the point that he just doesn't want people to believe that it could come out in 2018, because if it doesn't, people are going to be disappointed and it's going to suck. And to a certain extent, I understand that. You got to keep your expectations in check. But at the same time, like, you can't just be so negative and doubting for every single little thing, because we're going through one of the most amazing times for Nintendo ever. Like, we should stop and smell the roses now. Enjoy things to the fullest now, because it's going to pass, and we may look upon it fondly, but we will not have enjoyed it to as much as we could have. So that's why I just kind of don't understand some of the hate that we're seeing from some YouTubers and some Nintendo fans on the internet. I mean, you know, that's just my own personal take on it. I like to be positive, but realistic. But, you know, yeah, this is how I feel about it. I think we're going to see Smash and Pikmin really soon. Just maybe, you know, that January direct that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, like I said, I want to be realistic, right? So I should talk about some of the other predictions I had that were wrong. I predicted that we would get a Dark Souls announcement. I thought that would be like a big third-party game. Nothing on that at all. And in fact, we didn't really get too many new third-party announcements at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sucks. I have a slight. I think there's a possibility, just a suspicion. I'm not super confident in this, but I think there might be a direct later on that might be like a third-party blowout. And when it's this blowout, it won't really be that much of a blowout, but there might be a little bit more than we actually have been shown. But still, I mean, it doesn't look like we're getting Call of Duty. We're not getting Assassin's Creed. I'm not sure about Dark Souls. I was kind of thinking we might get it, but maybe it'll be next year or something. No signs of Overwatch either. Not that I expected that to be coming, but the third-party situation looks better than Wii U, but not by a lot. I mean, that's my take on it. But what do you guys think?
I think that they had some good third-party stuff. I think Skyrim for the Switch looks really impressive. I like how that's looking. I like how you can use the amiibos, you can use motion controls, which is weird. I don't know. I'll try that out, but probably won't use it that much. But I mean, cool,
I'm actually really excited about the Skyrim Switch as well. I think it looks like a pretty good port. It looks like it has remastered graphics, has motion controls, Zelda content, and all of the DLC. That seems like a great port. Of course, it's an old port, but a lot of Nintendo fans didn't get to play it, myself included. So I'm going to buy it, and I'm hopefully going to enjoy it extensively.
It's like one of the best ports I've ever seen, like lately at least.
Right, well, we haven't gotten a hands-on gameplay of it, so, I mean, I guess it's possible that it won't be polished, but I expect that it'll be pretty decent.
Nice.
Yeah.
But, well, technically it's only a year-old port since it's the remastered version, but, I mean...
Right.
Don't worry, all the trolls on the internet will want you to think it's, 6, 7 years old.
Even though the footage clearly shows...
Even though it's the remastered version that literally came out last year.
Right.
They don't want you to know that, because Nintendo sucks.
Actually, IGO Sean, you were going to make a point before... What were you going to say? I guess it was related to the third-party stuff, right?
No. I don't know.
No. Brandon,
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you a year prediction. I guarantee that Call of Duty will come out on the Switch next year.
Oh, no, I think so as well. I think it's more of a timing situation where they already had something in development and they just didn't... They knew the Switch was coming, right? But I don't think they were willing to... They weren't sure how successful it was going to be, so they didn't start development on it. And I think that is potentially the issue here, is that because of how bad the Wii U situation was, even though a lot of developers may have known the Switch was coming in time to start development, they didn't, because they didn't want to take that risk. But now that the Switch is selling, a lot of developers are going to start development. But the problem with that is that we see the success now. Development takes at least a year when it comes to ports, right? So, or 6 months if it's a smaller game. If there's still a little bit of hope that the third-party situation will get better. I think it will. And I think by holiday 2018, we will start seeing, more third-party support, hopefully. But, I kind of thought we might see something at this E3, but I was wrong. So I'm not trying to say I'm right about everything. I was not. The third-party situation was wrong completely. So just putting that out there. Full disclosure.
If Switch consoles keep selling the way that they are, then I'm pretty much guaranteed that you're going to see a lot more next year. Because a lot of these companies got caught with their pants down, They were, like you said, they were just on a wait-and-see basis. They wanted to see what was going to happen because they didn't want to, develop for something that's not going to sell. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these AAA companies just waited. Now that Nintendo, which is, killing it, maybe they started developing stuff that we're going to hear about next year. And also, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something at the Games Award this year.
I mean, Nintendo's been doing a lot. I mean, Nintendo's been doing a lot at pretty much every big social event, So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something. I don't expect anything major. Maybe, when is the Game Awards? It's in December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We may, I don't know, we may see more Zelda DLC by that point, or maybe there'll be a Metroid trailer. Just kidding. No. Okay, that's me getting overhyped. That I do not expect. I think that's jumping the gun a little bit, just saying. But what if? Yeah. What if? No. I think more realistically, a Smash trailer, which would also be pretty amazing.
Dude, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a good chance we'll see something at the Game Awards. I don't know if it'll be anything extensive. There's also the Tokyo Game Show too. we may see some Japanese announcements from there. You know, like maybe a Resident Evil 4 announcement, maybe a Monster Hunter announcement at Tokyo Game Show. That's not unprecedented for either. And we know that Capcom and those are both Capcom games. The Capcom is working with Nintendo. They do have the Resident Evil 7 engine working on the Switch, and you know they do. There are rumors of another version of Monster Hunter being worked on for the Switch, separate from Monster Hunter World, separate from Double Cross. So I have full confidence in Capcom. Capcom might be my favorite third-party developer. I mean, basically because I love Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. Those are my favorite like non-Nintendo franchises. So, we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, is there anything else that we didn't expect to happen or did expect to happen? I know it's been mostly me talking, but I think we shared a lot of the similar points.
Yeah, I was personally kind of I was kind of disappointed by the fact that there weren't any new IPs, but I was also really surprised and excited for Kirby and Yoshi.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting either of those games.
No, neither was I.
Me either.
I was surprised, and this happened a week before E3, but I was surprised by the 2DS. That came out of nowhere.
Oh,
yeah.
the 2DS announcement?
2DS.
Yeah.
One for one.
I mean, it's kind of weird because, like, it makes sense to me after the fact. Like, I didn't think about it beforehand, but now that I think about it now, when they first announced it, I was still kind of like, what? Really? I mean, okay, you might make some money. But once they showed off Metroid Samus Returns, I was like, okay, you know what? The 3DS still has a good year left. Because, I mean, they started out with Fire Emblem, not Echoes, right? Was it Echoes? A new Fire Emblem game for 3DS. We're getting Ever Oasis.
It was Echoes.
Now.
It was
right?
Echoes.
Echoes, okay. We're getting Ever Oasis. There's Hey Pikmin, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, Samus Returns, and there's a few other good games I'm sure I'm missing. So the 3DS year is not that bad. It's not that bad. I'm super excited for Samus Returns. So all of a sudden, hey, wait a second. There is kind of a reason to get a new 2DS XL, especially if you count the games this year. I mean, the 3DS has a great library, right? So, and the Switch isn't really ready yet to be Nintendo's sole platform. Yeah, I mean, they have to support the 3DS. That makes sense. And the 3DS, for some reason, still has life. It just won't die. It's kind of crazy. It's like a zombie system. But
I think that was the biggest surprise. One of the bigger surprises for me at E3 was that I actually cared about the 3DS again. I was like, no, Nintendo, stop making me care about the system. I just sold mine. I don't want to go pay $150 to get a new one.
I found my charger.
It's smart business wise because I mean you got what 60-something million 3DSs out there.
I mean they have to do it. Yeah. They have to. Like it just that's what makes sense. The Switch is not going to be ready to be a sole platform yet. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to see the 3DS being successful next year in 2018. But as far as 2017 goes, I mean, it still has a lot of life in it. It's pretty. That is a big surprise. I did not really expect that, to be honest.
It's a good marketing device too for kids because at the end of the day, kids are still going to play video games, and you know what are they going to play it on? You're going to buy your kid a $300 Switch or a $400 Xbox or PlayStation 4 Pro or a $500 Xbox One X.
Oh gosh,
$150. You got a game system that plays a ton of old games. So Nintendo, I mean, they're smart business wise. That's why they've been around for 100 years.
Yeah.
Unlike some companies where they'll put systems out and lose money on them.
Yeah. This is just a random question, but Pixelated Kitty, what's up? She asked me a personal question. Yes, I got a haircut today. just saying.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. Because Brandon is answering a lot of the questions right now, so I can focus on directing everything. But that's a personal question. I don't think he could answer that. I didn't know. Yeah, but So, are we ready to move on to the next topic? Like, is there anything else that we didn't expect that happened? Okay. Now this topic kind of is a continuation of everything. This is all based on E3, right? But I mean, basically, what were your overall E3 impressions? This actually, kind of. I guess IGO Sean, why don't you go first if you want to go first? Just give us a summary of how you felt.
Well, I've been covering E3 since it started. It's different now. It's totally different, but I love the way Nintendo is doing E3. Everybody started pissing and moaning because they do recorded, pre-recorded stuff. But if you saw something like EA's press conference, it was a snoozer. It was
Right.
It was
Yeah.
garbage.
I mean, you have these hour to 2 hour long conferences. They have kind of less information than what Nintendo did in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I honestly, I agree with you entirely. Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person who rates, who's winners and losers, because that's not what E3 is about, but people made it into it being winners and losers. Nintendo had the best showing.
Right.
Because they were to the point, they showed off some key games that are actually coming out this year, as opposed to other, Microsoft, they're still showing games that they showed 3 years ago that's still not out. The only thing that was kind of weird for me is they showed Metroid, and people were so shocked by Metroid that they totally didn't give two shits about Yoshi.
Oh yeah, I saw that so many times. It's so sad.
And
Yoshi, I loved how Yoshi looked.
Yoshi looks awesome. It's on on the Unreal 4 engine. It looks awesome.
It's like Paper Yoshi.
Yeah, but Nintendo hit it out of the park, man. I mean, even I got Xbox friends who were like, okay, well, they actually did a good job. They came in, they tore it up. They just showed a logo, and they pretty much won E3. But they also, God, Mario looks awesome. Nintendo basically has two Game of the Year games coming out this year. So I thought it was great. I thought they did a great job. I knew that there wasn't going to be much third party, but it was nice to actually sit down and watch shows like Ubisoft and Bethesda talking about a Nintendo product, which was very cool.
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job. It's weird that they waited until after they showed off Mario and the Treehouse to show off Metroid, because a lot of people missed that. But
the Metroid Samus Returns, that was...
Yeah.
I had turned it off right before that happened.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
So overall, I thought they did a great job. I think they should stick to their formula now.
Mm-hmm.
They should just keep doing these pre-recorded things. And I thought it was great. Nintendo, see, for me, someone who grew up on Nintendo and started playing the NES back in the 80s, this Nintendo now reminds me of the Nintendo of the 80s, because you got these franchises that they're actually putting stock into. You got Metroid coming out, you got Zelda, you got Mario, Yoshi, Kirby.
Like with the cereal on the TV shows, that was from the 80s, wasn't it?
The what?
Well, like you were talking about how they're really like showcasing their IP right now, right? Well, I wasn't alive in the 80s, but I remember there being like I've seen cereal boxes, and I've seen like the old TV shows, the old Mario movie.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that was from the late 80s, right?
Yeah. But if you were around when a Nintendo released, within a couple of years you had pretty much all of those franchises. You had Metroid, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers. It was just, and this is coming from when Atari basically demolished the gaming industry, and Nintendo started just putting life back into the gaming industry because people were excited to play Mario games and Zelda games because it was something new. I can only imagine what kids think now, seeing these games, playing Mario and Zelda. It's Nintendo, after seeing what Nintendo's gone through the last couple of years with the Wii U bombing, losing Iwata, just a whole bunch of stuff. And it's great to see Nintendo back on top again.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Does anyone want to follow up on that, or do you want me to go?
You should go.
All right. No, I 100% agree with you, Sean. That totally. It didn't. Just a few of points that I noticed you made. Like one during the whole Wii U era. Like I feel like a lot of that shittiness, right, that we had to go through was kind of like the growing pains, right? Because Nintendo needed to make a big transition. I mean, yes, they lost Iwata, so they had to change things with their higher ups. A lot of the staff changed. A lot of the way they developed things changed, and the Wii U era was kind of like almost like a necessary evil, right? Because of that, they went through all these significant changes, and now we're seeing a Nintendo that I think is stronger than the Wii era and the GameCube era and the N64 era. I mean, it's harkening back to like what you said, Sean, like back in the days when I was just a wee little lad, or not even an existent lad. They were really, really strong, and that's how I feel that they're doing now. That they're like, a lot of people are discovering their franchises now. Like, Breath of the Wild is selling better than any other Zelda before it. This is on pace to be the best-selling Zelda ever, right? Because other people who don't really play Zelda are excited about it now. It's like these are new franchises again, and I hope that the same thing happens for Metroid, because Metroid is one of the best franchises in terms of critical acclaim ever, right? And in terms of followings, it has a very strong like cult following. But in terms of sales, it has never been up there with Mario or Zelda, but it deserves to be, and I hope it finally gets its chance to succeed with all this hype, all this acknowledgement of Metroid now. Hopefully, like Zelda, it sells better than ever before. But, you know, my overall... Oh, you go. No, what were you saying?
Another thing I want to add on to this, and maybe everybody in here can like have your own answers to this. I'm pretty sure most of you grew up on a GameCube.
Yes.
A lot of you probably consider the GameCube's Nintendo's best. Or
well,
for someone like me, I grew up on a Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I've basically lived every generation in terms of Nintendo. And after the GameCube came out, when the Wii came out, as a gamer and as someone who totally loved Nintendo, in a way, I had to adapt to, while everybody's making these flashy games and stuff like that, Nintendo's going to motion control.
God, hold on.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
His cat.
Oh.
His cat's trying to get in.
Sorry. Sorry. What
So when the
was that
Wii
last
came
line?
out, it was underpowered. We had to put up with E3 shows where we saw, you know, that Tommy drummer guy making an ass out of himself, and Cammy Dunaway, the soccer mom. And it was like we had to go through a long period of time of being made fun of as Nintendo lovers. And it continued with the Wii U. The Switch is something that is like, it's cool as shit.
It's
you know?
hip, it's rad.
It's hip.
It is dope.
It's cool. You got Sony and Microsoft guys talking about it now. It's sold out everywhere. So it's kind of cool to Nintendo to get back to, you know, what they do best, and that's make kick-ass games, and that's what they're doing now.
Yeah. No. Yep. I'm 100% in agreement with you. It's actually funny though, right? Like, we were in different like age groups when we were playing the GameCube, right? Like, I was late elementary school.
3?
I was not 3. I was in late elementary school and middle school, and I remember I'd be in the freaking cafeteria and I'd be like, the GameCube is way more powerful than the PS2, and there'd be kids like, oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ironically, they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. But like, people would bully me because I loved GameCube, and that, I mean, it's kind of sad, right? But I mean, the GameCube had great games. But it's cool to, you're right. I didn't really even consider that before, that the Switch is cool now. It's cool to have a Switch, and that's kind of awesome.
Right. I agree.
It's a nice secondary system too.
Yeah, I actually grew up with the N64. Like, I didn't have a GameCube for a while. I was always kind of one console generation behind, which I liked because the N64 was like amazing. So I got to experience that a lot. But yeah. I think this E3 made me realize just how like much the Wii U sucked. Because I used to like my Wii U. Actually, when I had it, I got it like 2 years after it came out, so there's a pretty good amount of games by then, all at once. And then I was like, yeah, man, this is awesome. I got Wind Waker HD, I got all these games. And I'm just like, man, this is the best console. And then I was like, 2016 came around and nothing was coming out. And I was like, what is this crap? Why? What is happening? And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was exactly what was happening all the other years. I just got it late, so it just collected up to a kind of halfway decent console by then.
Yeah.
And now the Switch is doing like way more than the Wii U ever did in its first year. Like, it's insane.
I mean, well, it's kind of a combination of we didn't really like get to experience how a true, we didn't really get to experience how a true console should feel during the Wii U era, right? But also the Switch is performing better than a normal console would. So it's like, exponentially better. It's kind of like from worst to best, and just like that. Of course, we have to deal with not really playing games for a while, but it's a huge contrast for sure. It's just kind of crazy. But going back to the original topic here, my overall E3 impressions I think Nintendo did a great job. Yes, there wasn't any third-party support, but I don't think it really matters right now. Like, I don't have enough time to play all these games. Like, you know, Breath of the Wild DLC is coming out in a few days. I still haven't played ARMS, right? And then Splatoon 2 is going to come out like a couple weeks later. And then there's Samus Returns, and Ever Oasis just came out, and then Hey Pikmin, and then Ultra Sun and Moon, and then Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade 2. And if you haven't played Skyrim, there's that. And then the Mario Rabbids game actually looks pretty good, too. And then there's Fire Emblem Warriors, and Pokken Deluxe. And there's probably other things I haven't mentioned yet either. And that's all coming this year. There's just so much to play. So I think Nintendo did a great job because, one, they showed how amazing this year is going to be. Like, we're looking at an incredibly strong year, maybe one of the strongest years we've ever seen for a system. But then they even showed off what's coming beyond. They showed off Kirby, they showed off Yoshi, they announced Pokemon, they announced Metroid. Pokemon and Metroid, literally, the fact that we know those are coming improves Nintendo's stock dramatically, especially Pokemon. I think Nintendo's doing great, and it was concise. Like, to your point, IGO, Sean, what you said earlier, how, like, you don't really care about these standard presentations. Like, yeah, I mean, I hate when I watch people's reviews for different, like, you know, E3 showings. They're like, oh, well, we're not going to really consider Nintendo a part of who did best. I think that's so stupid. Why?
The frick?
For what? For the 15,000 people that go to E3 versus the hundreds of thousands or millions of people that see outside? Like, which one's more important? The millions of people that are watching it from afar, and from afar, we get to see everything Nintendo wants to show in 25 minutes instead of a very boring 2 hours. And then they show more stuff. They show tons of more gameplay, tons more interviews during the Treehouse, and they keep you engaged the entire time. And for the record, if you are at E3, everyone has smart devices. You can follow Nintendo just like anyone else. Through your phone. Like, yeah.
It's a different environment now, too. 12 years ago, live shows were great because we didn't have smartphones. They were stupid phones. And like when they showed off Zelda 12 years ago at E3, people went ape shit. Now you got YouTube. Say you got 1 million people on YouTube watching a video and reacting to it. So it's just a different environment now. So I don't see why a company would spend all that money to do a live show that's pretty much going to bomb, which most of these live shows did.
They did. It's
EA being a word.
I didn't even pay attention to EA. I did hear that FIFA doesn't suck, though. Apparently, the Switch version is pretty much up to par with the competition, aside from one single-player mode that most people don't even play.
Yeah.
So
that's what I've heard.
If you factor the point that it's portable, it kind of makes up for that, I guess. I mean, I guess it depends on the person, but I think most people will be okay with not playing the single-player mode if they get FIFA portably. I don't care for FIFA, right? But I know there's tons of people who do.
No.
So, you know, there you go. I mean, we're all Americans, so a lot of us Americans don't even really like soccer. Yeah, I know. Sorry if you're international. But that's the truth. So, Brandon, do you, or Sean, younger Sean, do either of you guys want to go over your impressions before we move on to the next subject?
What about you, Brandon? You want to go first? No?
No, you go first, because I need to collect my thoughts.
Okay.
I mean, you could just say that. Okay, go on.
Right. Well, I was very, very satisfied with everything. I was talking to my friend Josh about this whole thing, about all of E3, and I was just talking about how everyone else to me was just so boring, and I didn't watch any other conference. I knew it was going to be like so boring and stale. Although, like some people are saying, like Sean say, the Ubisoft was good, but I still didn't watch anything of it. But it's just like I love how it's like a half hour long every year, and they just show off so many things. And every single thing that they showed off, I was very satisfied with. I do think that they could have shown 1 or 2 new games, but at the same time, what they showed was just so good. And there's one more thing. I had to think about it.
Metroid.
Damn it. No, not even Metroid. It was
Pokemon. Fire Emblem
Rocket League?
Warriors.
No.
Rocket League.
Oh yeah,
Rocket League.
I remember now. Yeah, I don't care about. I hate Rocket League. I do not like that game.
How
Okay.
dare you?
What I was
big
gonna
title.
say was.
Sean just hates mainstream. He's a hipster.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's like playing like a mini game on like Need for Speed from like 2003. But anyways, I was surprised to see Zelda DLC in the presentation. I think that was like the least exciting to me because it's like I've played Zelda like a lot, so it was just kind of I did not expect it at all. I do think it was like the weakest part, not necessarily like weakest, but like least exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought if I were to grade it, I'd give it like an A, the whole thing.
Well, that'll get you into
Yeah.
college.
Right.
It'll get you to Harvard if you average an
Right?
A. So what about you, Brandon?
Yeah, for me, I really liked this year's E3. I agree with all you guys. I think they should keep doing these pre-recorded things. I feel like it's so much easier, especially for like news people. It's so much easier to cover than these stupid like live things. Like it's so much more concise, and you can get all your information, and then you can like go back and check everything really easily instead of having to like sift through all the CEO like walk on stage crap and the PR like crap. I hate that. And I was so surprised. I think that a big surprise for me is I'm now looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 more than Super Mario Odyssey, and I didn't think I would. Like, I knew Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was going to be amazing, but I'm looking forward to it more than Super Mario Odyssey. Although Super Mario Odyssey looked really good.
I
Like,
think you're in the minority here.
The heck?
I'm
Right.
stoked for Xenoblade
Yeah.
2 because I trust that Xenoblade is going to be amazing, but I was not impressed by what was shown off. It's kind of one of those things where, like, because I trust the developer behind it, I know it's going to be good, but I think Mario Odyssey looks way better. So I don't think it's a contest, to be honest.
I agree with you, Brandon.
actually,
And I hate to say
for
that
me,
because
I was watching.
Go on.
Yeah, for me, I was watching the Treehouse. Oh my gosh, my live reactions were literally me just going, "Oh my gosh, this game is amazing! Oh my gosh, look at this Xenoblade reference! Oh my gosh, look at this other Xenoblade reference! Oh my gosh, they're on Titans again! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!"
Well,
Everything is like I wanted it to be.
to your point,
And
I
then it was
actually
just
didn't
like-
watch too much of the Treehouse footage of it. I saw a little bit of gameplay, but I didn't want to watch it extensively because, I wanted to keep it fresh. So,
Yeah, I just wanted to see kind of what they were going for, which is why I
Right.
watched that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, no,
it
that's
was
fine.
it was just like I just wanted to see like the gameplay. I wanted to see more of like how the world was set up. Because they didn't go into like any kind of story spoilers or anything. Like I'm completely in the dark still with the story. But I mainly wanted to see the gameplay, which is what they showed off. Like the only thing that worries me is the battle system seems a little bit simplified compared to the other ones. Not sure.
but it could also be just an early part of the game. Keep in mind that, like, a lot of times when you play through the game, they add extra mechanics. So,
It's true.
And we'll see what happens, but, just keep that in mind. It might not be that simple.
Yeah. I'm not judging it yet till I get
Right.
the game and play it for myself. But other than that, I thought everything looked great. I actually thought the graphics were good. I think they needed a little bit more polish, but I think underneath the unpolishedness was like a really amazingly beautiful game, and especially the special effects that were going on when they were doing like combos and stuff looked really amazing.
Okay.
Like your special effects would like shoot off like ridiculous amount of sparks and like particle effects, and the particle effects would like light up the environment and like.
That's interesting.
physical-based
Like,
fighting and
the
stuff.
thing is, like, I didn't watch that much gameplay, so I didn't really see all these combat sections at length. So, maybe that's one of the reasons why you feel a lot better about this. Maybe you just got to see the core of the game. And a lot of us, like me, just kind of glanced at it, like, okay, Xenoblade, I'm getting it, but didn't pay much more attention to than beyond that. So, that's a good point. I'm going to have to probably go back through the Treehouse and see that again. But I already know, I understand it's not polished yet, it's not ready yet, so I'm not judging it fully.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people who in 2016, for that E3, I literally sat down for every single segment of the Treehouse with Zelda. Like every single one.
I was
like,
so
in one-
Zelda
yeah.
hungry. I
All in a row.
was in my bed watching Zelda, like,
Dude,
all day.
and this E3 I live streamed literally every single segment of the Treehouse, except for that stupid sushi game.
Andres,
Oh my gosh, I should mention that.
were you holding
Like,
up to
I
your
remember-
Kirby while you were watching the Zelda stuff on the tree?
I didn't have the Kirby at the time.
my god.
The Kirby was
yeah,
born
I
from my
remember-
love of Zelda, so that, you know, we didn't need any windows.
My biggest disappointment of E3 was when they said at Treehouse, they were like, we're going to show off a brand new game. And I was like, man, what are they going to show off? Some kind of cool game for the Switch? And it was just Way of the Shushido for the 3DS. And I was like, what is this crap? It's just some kind of weird, crappy Japanese anime
I
sushi
remember
game.
that. I,
Like, what
didn't,
is
I just wasn't interested at all. Yeah.
Dude, I about died on stream.
Yeah, I was there, kind of.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I guess those are our impressions. We ready to move on?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, next topic. 2018 and beyond. So this topic is basically fully all about what's happening afterwards. So I already touched on the fact that I think Nintendo showed off enough to make us feel comfortable with what's coming in the future. But, I mean, I guess we can go into it, right? So they showed us footage for Kirby and Yoshi, both 2018 games. And because they showed off footage in the way they did, I suspect that both of those games are coming within, like, maybe even before March. Like, they're definitely in the first 6 months of 2018. Those are two early Nintendo Switch games. And then they announced Pokemon and Metroid. Now, they didn't show gameplay for either, and a lot of people think they just showed them off to kind of, because Nintendo's pandering to the backlash, but I think it really is just because they were ready to say that they were coming, but they're not going to show gameplay of them because they're trying to sell Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and Metroid Samus Returns this year, so why show gameplay when they're not coming until at least holiday 2018, and they don't want to ruin sales for those two other games, you know what I mean? So I think that there's a good chance they're coming in 2018, just late 2018. But if we consider those games, the rumors about Smash Brothers, the knowledge that we know Pikmin 4 is they could just shoot that out whenever the hell they want because that thing's been ready forever.
Right.
There's strong speculation that Animal Crossing is right around the corner, though we don't have any tangible evidence for it. But I wouldn't be surprised. And Fire Emblem, we know, is also slated for 2018, a major mainline Fire Emblem game. That's already, if assuming that all comes out in 2018, and I know a lot of people will disagree that all eight of those games will come out in 2018, but I think there's a pretty good chance they will. That's a really good lineup, and we still haven't even gotten our January-December Direct that tells us about what's coming. So I feel pretty confident about next year for Nintendo Switch. I think it's going to continue to be really strong, especially with Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon alone is going to really drive sales. And I think there's even a chance, assuming Pokemon comes out at the end of 2018, I think there's a chance that we may see the Switch Mini come out at the end of the year to coincide with the release of Pokemon Switch. By which point the 3DS will be completely dead. So it could be a smooth transition over. And yeah. And for the record, I think Switch Mini is going to be basically a Switch, just like a smaller version for some people who aren't trustworthy with expensive devices and could probably fit in your pocket. But can still be plugged into a dock, but you have to buy separately. Yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think about this overall? What are your general impressions about 2018 and beyond? Like, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I think that I think 2018 is going to be a really good year for not just like first-party games, but also there's going to be a lot more third-party games that are going to be announced. Maybe a lot of them will be ports, but I feel like a lot of them are going to be like they're going to release at the same time as the other console games. That's going to be seen like a lot more next year, and I do 1,000,000% believe that Metroid is going to come out next year. And they literally said that Pokemon is going to take a year to make. So
yeah, Pokemon always has a pretty fast turnover rate, and if we're to believe anything from Eurogamer, because they were right about everything except for Pokemon Stars, I feel like that report had to be at least somewhat true. It has to have been in development for a while already. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think if I had to pick one or the other, I would say that Pokemon is definitely coming out in 2018. If it's one or the other, Pokemon or Metroid, if I had to pick one, Pokemon's definitely going to make it. I think there's a pretty good chance that Metroid's going to make it too. But it's not set in stone yet. It could be delayed. It may not be. But if I had to place my money, I think both are going to make it.
I think that at least Metroid is going to be the first time they say a release date for it is going to be 2018. I don't know if it'll be delayed or not, but
right. So the target date is 2018, but
yeah,
we'll see if it's delayed or not. I mean, just for perspective, though, if we look at all the Metroid Prime games, there was never any delays with any of them. I mean, I'll have to look into the actual development for the original Metroid Prime. But once they decided what game they wanted to make, because they were working on like 6 or 7 games, once they decided what game they wanted to make, they pumped that thing out pretty quickly. Then once they had the engine set into place, they brought out Metroid Prime 2 in 2 years. Then they transitioned to a new generation so that they bump up the engine, change things around, and really figure out motion controls. The next game came out in 3 years. So there's like this kind of like, I don't know, some people I guess just want to be negative about it, but the development cycles for Metroids have never really been that long. The only reason we don't get Metroid that often is, one, because it doesn't sell as well as other franchises, and two, they just don't have an idea for another Metroid, so they don't do it as consistently as Zelda or Mario. But in terms of development cycle, it's not a long development cycle. Probably more comparable to Mario than it is to Zelda.
Yeah. I think I would be kind of worried that Metroid's not coming out, except Xenoblade coming out this year kind of makes me think that maybe Nintendo knows what the heck they're doing, and they could get it out earlier, because I did not think Xenoblade was going to come out, and that's coming out this year. So
I'm telling you guys, this is a different
there's a bigger
Nintendo.
chance.
They have their shit together. Let me say one more thing.
There's a chance.
Let me say one more thing to that point. I mean, I'm going to still talk, but, you know, just on this particular subject. And I've said this many times already, but I really, really want to drive it home. Nintendo combined both their handheld and home console divisions. So what does that mean exactly? That means that everything, you know, there's always been a lot of handheld games, there's always been a decent amount of home console games, but people are like, oh, if only this game was on this system, if only this game was on this system. Well, that's what the Switch is going to be. So there are going to be a lot of games. It's going to be on one platform. So they don't have to expend as many resources to put twice as many games for 2 different platforms. It's all going to be on one. So you shouldn't be surprised to see more quality games on one platform, because Nintendo is using more resources on one platform.
They're also outsourcing a lot of their games too. That's why you're seeing a lot of these third parties,
like
Samus helping out. Yeah, and you got Namco helping out on games and stuff like that.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that we're going to definitely see Metroid in 2018. I'm hoping to see a Pokemon in 2018. As far as Animal Crossing is concerned, I still think we're going to get a Switch version. And we're not going to hear about that until they show some kind of Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing, where they show off the mobile app that's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they have like a total Nintendo Direct just devoted to Animal Crossing, which that's what I'm looking forward to, because I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan.
Yeah.
Not afraid to admit it.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Animal Crossing is okay, I guess.
Animal Crossing is better than okay.
Animal Crossing is awesome, man.
Dude, New Leaf is like the best.
My problem with Animal Crossing...
Exactly.
My problem with Animal Crossing is that every time I forget to play, I just have so many weeds. There's just so many weeds.
Welcome to town, dude.
What you
Stop slacking off.
This is where you start, right here, man. You got to start with this game and then work your way up.
My first Animal Crossing was actually on the DS. I really liked that game. I have a lot of fond memories of it. It always feels like a magical experience to me.
I feel so young now.
So here's an interesting question, right? So let's just assume, right, and we all feel pretty confident about this, that Smash Brothers, Pikmin, Pokemon, Metroid, Animal Crossing, Yoshi, Kirby, and Fire Emblem, that's 8 games, are all coming out in 2018. Is there anything else from Nintendo that we may see in 2018? That's a lot. I mean, that's
Star
8
Fox
months.
Zero 2.
Oh, God. But will it be good?
Dang.
Just a straight port, nothing new whatsoever. You have to use your Wii U controller.
Luigi's Mansion. I'd love this Mansion follow-up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
I would like to see both of those, but I don't think we'll get either of those. But you gave me an idea, though, Sean.
Ooh.
Mario Maker port. I think we'll get a Mario Maker port in 2018. Or a Mario Maker sequel, whatever you want to call it. So
I'd say it's probably a sequel.
Right.
I think we could see Skyward Sword HD, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe that might be 2019. That could be 2019.
Right, yeah, that's no, I think
Late
it'll come. I just not sure if
year.
it'll be a 2018 title.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo might give Zelda a 1-year break. I think maybe 20.
Yeah. Might be a good idea.
I think we won't even see it until 2019, and it'll come out in 2019, and then the next mainline Zelda will come out in 2020.
Maybe.
The real
I don't
question,
think it'd be that soon. I think maybe they come up with a 2D Zelda game.
the real
Like
question
a not big 3D
That's
one.
interesting.
is
Better.
what is Retro Studios working on? They've been
Oh
working
my
on something for the
God.
past
Dude, right?
years.
Oh, I know what it is.
New Donkey
What the hell are they working
No,
on?
I know what it is. I have inside sources. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure you do.
Who
You guys
won?
ready? Okay, I don't actually have any inside sources, not really. But I have really good intuition, like really good intuition. I did say 2 Metroids.
What?
Okay,
You're gonna write
just-
that out forever.
No, okay, no, I'm just kidding.
It's on his week.
I think there is it would be interesting if Retro Studios is working on not a platformer, not a shooter, not a racer, because they did work on Mario Kart 7, but an RPG. Does anyone know where I'm going with this yet?
No.
It starts with an M.
No
and it's
idea.
not Metroid.
Earthbound?
Yeah, Mother 3,
Ooh.
full 3D.
Huh.
That is just.
Oh.
And I don't know if
I don't
anyone's
see
ever.
that happening.
I just want another thing I want to point out. Has anyone ever noticed that Retro Studios is retro? You know what retro means? Is old stuff, right? They reinvigorate franchises. So they reinvigorated the Metroid franchise with Metroid Prime, and they reinvigorated Donkey Kong Country. So I think their namesake suggests that they're going to reinvigorate another new Nintendo franchise. That's what they've done. I think the
F-Zero.
Earthbound series could be one of them. Or F-Zero. I mean, they did get that practice with Mario Kart. Maybe that's what they're working on.
I could see F-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I think F-Zero is a safer bet than Earthbound, but, I'm ballsy.
They still got a lot of. They still have a lot of franchises that they can dip into.
Right.
Kid Icarus.
I'm thinking
Isn't
maybe
Golden
we
Sun a
could see-
Nintendo franchise?
Second party, I think.
I'm still holding
What
out
about
for
is
Star
it,
Tropics.
is it? Yeah, Star Tropics. That's what I was thinking. I don't know why, but I wanted to say Tropic Thunder. It's Star Tropics. Well, I mean, Tropic Thunder is
Is that a
really.
Hulk Hogan TV show?
Ben Stiller's in it.
Or does, yeah, okay.
Um,
What's his name? Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be interesting. So, I don't know. I have no idea when we'll see a new F-Zero or a new Wave Race or a new Excite series. I think there's a fair chance that we'll see one of those 3 racing, because Nintendo's already got Mario Kart covered, right? But I think it'd be fair to say that Nintendo will put at least one racing series on the Switch in 2018, maybe, right? And so take your pick: Wave Race, F-Zero, or Excite, the Excite series. I know a lot of us want to see F-Zero, but with
I
Metroid,
actually don't really want to see F-Zero.
Well, you know what?
Like, I don't really care if F-Zero comes out, because Fast Racing RMX is, like, kind of the same thing.
No, it's
And I
not.
never
Yeah.
grew up.
No,
I never
it's
really
not.
played an F-Zero game,
Brandon,
so I don't
you
care.
will be deleted from the internet. You got to stop talking.
Oh, gosh. I'm gonna get roasted. No, I'm gonna die.
The only
No.
F-Zero game I played, I did not like.
Which one?
See? Meanwhile,
Yeah,
it will go down in
F-Zero.
history. That's the people who offended the F-Zero
Okay.
people.
F-Zero
Got murdered.
GX is in my opinion the best racing game ever made.
Really?
Yes,
I only played the N64 one.
yeah, I like the N64 one, but F-Zero GX is in my opinion the pinnacle of the franchise. But the problem is that it was really really hard. Like there's like 5 tracks that you basically 95 to 99% of the human population can't feasibly unlock.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked it, but I do have calluses on my thumbs trying. So
Dang.
yeah.
Hardcore.
I don't know, but I mean, I guess is there anything else that you guys want to say in regards to 2018 and beyond? I mean, next year's looking really good. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd like to say that this E3 definitely made me feel a lot better about 2018, because I was kind of worried that they were pulling out all their big guns for 2017. I was like, man, they got Zelda, they got Mario, they got Xenoblade, they got Splatoon, they got all kinds of games coming out this year. I'm like, what are they going to come out with next year? Are they going to be like, is there going to be a drought or something? I was kind of worried. And I was like, nope, they got Yoshi, they got Kirby, they got Metroid, they got Fire Emblem, they got everything. They got Pokemon, they don't need anything
I think
else.
2019 is going to be
Yeah.
interesting because once 2018,
Yeah.
assuming everything we said comes out, including the Mario Maker sequel, what do they do then? Because then either they start coming out with sequels or they start using a whole bunch of new IP. And it's interesting because this will be the first time. This will be the first, assuming everything we understand what Nintendo's doing, that they're actually going to just develop for one platform, right, and not have a second hand of different games. This will be the first time where Nintendo will have used all of their main franchises in 2 years, right? Because normally what happens is that you gotta get like half the games on the 3DS and the Switch. I mean, well, whatever the the portable and the home console. So, like, for example, if we got a Mario Kart on 3DS this year, right, next year we would get it on Wii U, you know what I mean? But now that there's already a Mario Kart on the Switch, there's no need to make another Mario Kart. So then, on that third year, what is Nintendo going to do? Are they just going to start coming out with a whole bunch of sequels? Or are they going to start tapping into the reserves, you know? Like Star Tropics, or Wave Race, or Earthbound, you know? Or Kid Icarus. It would be interesting. To see what they're going to do in 2019. That's what I'm most interested in, because I'm pretty confident about what we're going to see this year and next.
What I really hope to see is them to continue like the 3DS series of games, to put it on the Switch and not just do like home console games. Like, I really want to see another Kid Icarus game in the style of Uprising, because that's my favorite 3DS game, like, by far.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, that was the game that got me back into Nintendo and made me like obsessed with the 3DS. But and I also want them to do like a Mario and Luigi game on the Switch, because I really like those games. And also, Square Enix did say that they're making, there are plans to make Bravely like a third game in their Bravely Default series, which I think is like
that's great. But I would consider that third party.
Games.
I would consider that third party.
Yeah, but
a great game series for sure.
It's also exclusive, I hope.
Right, hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah. Also, I hope that if it does come, it would stay exclusive too.
Right, and maybe Nintendo has some sort of partnership with, Capcom to make sure they have another Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, but I guess, we won't really know until the time comes, right? Or at least by 2018, maybe we can start making some better predictions.
Right.
Maybe that's when we'll get that Skyward Sword HD, and maybe by 2019 we'll finally get our GameCube Virtual Console.
Does anybody else want a Fantasy Life 2? Like, come on.
Yes.
Dude, the game is
actually
amazing.
Fantasy Life 2 that's confirmed to be a mobile game.
Yeah, I know, but come on, stop it. No. Bring it to Switch.
We will get Pushmo World in 2019.
Yay, most hype game of 2019.
I actually like Pushmo, but
it's good, but I mean, so
it's going to be super fleshed out. Pushmo is going to be Game of the Year 2019. You heard it here first.
That'd be a sad year.
No.
Switchmo.
Switch? What? Yeah. Switchmo? That is, oh my god, dude! You should tell Nintendo, man. Make sure you get paid for that.
Why are you not working for Nintendo, man?
Maybe he does.
He's undercover.
Yeah, maybe he told me. Maybe he told me about Earthbound for Retro Studios. No, that's not true. So I guess we're ready to move on to Best of Show. So. A few people asked throughout the chat. I noticed that what am I hyped about? And well, of course I'm hyped about Metroid. I'm hyped about Pokemon. I'm hyped about pretty much everything that Nintendo showed off. But the thing that I am most excited for, that's coming out toward the end of the year, is Samus Returns. Just kidding. Well, actually, really am excited for that, but that's not at the end of the year. Super Mario Odyssey. I think that's what I have to say is the best of show. We got to see a lot of gameplay about it. We haven't really talked about Mario Odyssey yet, and I think that's what we need to talk about the most. And that game just looks really, really special. We're getting another amazing game. It looks groundbreaking in its own way, just like Breath of the Wild was. When I saw that Tyrannosaurus Rex, I was like, "Is this a Monster Hunter game?" And then all of a sudden, Mario pops out of a dinosaur, and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
He popped out, and you literally can possess pretty much everything in the world around you. You can run and mess with everything around the world. It's so immersive and colorful. It's so open. So many secrets, and that concept of just possessing almost every single living or inanimate object is amazing, and that mechanic alone just takes everything to a whole other level. I think it's really special, and I think Mario Odyssey, it's gonna give Zelda a run for its money for Game of the Year. It's gonna be close. So yeah, I'm extremely hyped for it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who didn't say, is that Monster Hunter, when they first showed that, because actually I was thinking, I don't know why, I was thinking Xenoblade. I was like, I don't know, I was really wanting them to show more Xenoblade, so I was just like, is that Xenoblade? Man, the graphics look different than I remembered him being. I was like, oh no, wait, that's Mario.
In the span of 25 minutes, the graphics improved.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it looks so amazing. I was like, what the, like, heck, like, why is Mario possessed a giant dinosaur? That's the coolest crap ever.
So
Now I was just like, what in the world just happened? I was just like, that's my entire reaction to that trailer. Like, what in the world is going on? It's so amazing.
Yeah, it's just really special.
To me, it really feels a little nostalgic because everything that was so good about the N64 and PlayStation 1, like 3D platformers, everything that was just so good about those games, like when I was a kid and I thought they were amazing, and before I was an adult and realized what sucked about those games, that's like, that game, Mario Odyssey, looks like everything good about the old games, but like being so new at the same time. Like it makes you feel a little nostalgic, like the way the levels are designed and the way it just looks so good. It also looked graphically like I did not expect it to look that good, especially since
you
it's
know,
like
it's 720p 60
for a
frames per
while.
second already. This is
What?
this is the E3 build, and it's already running at a solid 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Yeah, a while ago, I read like an article or two saying that the game is like done pretty much. Like that was a long time ago.
Well, they're probably just polishing the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something like, they said it was like 30 to 50 moons you can find per level, and I was like, what? That's so many.
Well, yeah,
also
but they're
crazy
pretty.
the game
They're
comes
kind
out.
of. What?
It's also crazy. I just remember the game comes out in friggin' October,
Right. Not even
Yeah.
November.
November, like everyone thought.
Right. Exactly.
I was like, what?
Nintendo is bringing out these games way earlier than people expected, and like I said, for
October's
the
crazy.
umpteenth time, this is a new Nintendo. They're gonna pump out games faster than babies, and I don't know, like they're just gonna. Not that babies are that quick. Actually, babies
One of
only
the
take 9 months. Games usually take 2 to 3 years. Yeah, like babies. They're pumping out games like babies. Yeah, that makes sense.
One of the additions that I do love,
Best analogy.
it's probably like a little small thing, but once you get a moon, it doesn't take you out of the level. It just continues on.
That's pretty
Right?
awesome. No, it's really
So-
interesting.
Like sunshine.
That's
I
a great
get
point.
annoyed.
I just did a live stream like last week of Mario 64. I played through the game, and like I was just reminded of all these different things. That are like, oh god, the camera's a pain in the butt. Oh my god, I can barely move. I'm gonna like hit a random angle and fall off. Oh, I hit the wrong star. Now I can't get 100 coins. Like, I love Mario 64, but its age does show. And to see what we've already seen for Mario Odyssey just looks so polished. And it's not just a time thing, because you look at Yooka-Laylee, you look at Crash, all these other platformers that other developers have tried to make, they're not nearly as good. And of course, Nintendo's usually better, but like, for example, Mario Odyssey is running at 60 frames per second. Most of their platformers struggle to even run at 30. Like, they're usually pretty inconsistent. I guess it has to do with the amount of things that platformers usually allow you to interact with in an open sandbox kind of world. And Mario Odyssey is pulling it off incredibly well. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mario Odyssey is close to 1080p at 60 frames per second by the time it comes out in October. It's just, they're doing so much with this game. For sure.
The game looks really good graphically, except New Donk City. I find that one to be like somewhat like they haven't gone back and polished that one, but they polished the other ones. Like,
I agree.
The buildings look so bad. Like the aliasing on that level is so bad.
I agree, but also I think it's because a lot of games that try to do like a realistic style don't usually look that good in general.
Yeah. I think the sand level looks like freaking gorgeous, though.
I actually think
Yeah,
the reason
it
that
does.
New Donk City looks worse is because of the... Well, one, the people need more advanced textures, but also the buildings, like, every window has a reflection. So, like, there's just so many reflections and textures that are going on in New Donk City compared to other games, other worlds, I should say, that it's harder to make it run. But I feel pretty good that by the time the game comes out, this will be a little bit more polished over and it's going to look fine. And in fact, while I did get that initial impression when I saw New Donk City in the trailer and such, once I watched some more extended demos, I didn't really care. It looked pretty good. But again, we know, we've talked about this already, by the time it comes out, it's going to look even better. It's not a final build of the game. It's an early build of the game. So, yeah, I mean, that's the truth. But, I can't wait to explore these different worlds. Mario can dress up and do all these different things, and he can turn into a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Coins mean things.
Did I mention
Coins mean things.
Wait, what? What?
Coins are useful.
Yep,
yeah,
coins aren't
are
worthless
useful.
now.
That is so true. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's interesting how the system is working though, because when you die, you lose coins. So I mean, it almost seems like a game over is almost impossible to get to, right? If you're trying to not lose, I don't see you getting a game over because there's so many coins in every level. It's kind of weird. I wonder what would happen if you do run out of coins.
Right.
But I don't know. Mario Odyssey looks pretty amazing. Is there anything in particular for Mario Odyssey you want to talk about? Does anyone actually have another best of show?
My best of show was Xenoblade, honestly. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looked really amazing. I thought it looked... I am more hyped about it than Mario Odyssey, even though I'm looking forward to that game as well.
Actually, it's funny. What about Mudkip just suggested the no coin challenge for Mario Odyssey? That's actually an interesting idea. You just literally can't die.
It'd be really fun.
Shout out to Tiny Tails. How you doing? Yeah, it'd be crazy. And I mean, yeah, Xenoblade looks pretty special too. And I think we can all agree that Xenoblade's probably going to be coming out the late November or December. So that's probably going to be our last game for 2017 to cap off, the best year we've ever seen for a Nintendo system. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's insane.
So is there any other final thoughts that anyone wants to put in about Nintendo, Best of Show, E3 in general before we end the discussion for the night?
I just like to say that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is everything I ever wanted. It's story-based, unlike Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's not based off, this crappy, weird story that Xenoblade Chronicles X had, which was really mission-based, which was kind of sucked. It looks like it has... The partners are way better integrated, I think, this one. There's things that you can do, activate your partner's abilities. They'll tell you, hey, you want to do this so we can topple him, instead of just oh, they used the topple ability before I was ready. Dang it, now they have to recharge. And all kinds of just really cool stuff. And I think that after the graphics are a little more polished, it will also be really beautiful. I like the return to Titans now, instead of their so big world. And also I thought the environments looked much more diverse than in Xenoblade Chronicles X, so I feel like it's a much bigger return to form to the original Xenoblade.
I like the direction for Xenoblade. Let me cut you off for just a quick second as we're ending the discussion. And guys, so we're ending the discussion now. If you want to watch the rest, if you miss any discussion, just go back to the beginning, obviously. But put out any questions you want us to answer now, since we're ending everything. And also, what's up? So, going back to your point, Xenoblade, I really do like the direction that they're going with it for it. I like the designs for the characters, because I think that style is better for evoking emotion. And I think it'll work really well for a more story-based adventure. It's still open world like the original Xenoblade. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for it, too. I mean, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. The game, I think, looks... the gameplay looks really, really good. Graphically, I think it obviously needs some polish, the textures on the world and everything. But the gameplay-wise, I think looks so much better than X, and even better than the first one.
I don't know. It's interesting because I think it'll be pretty hard to top those mechs. I really like the story in Xenoblade, but I thought the overdrive mechanic was really cool. Well, actually, you know what? That's a good point.
Destroyed exploration. I didn't like the mechs at all. I thought I would love the mechs, but it ruined the balance of the game. You were so overpowered. Every enemy was a pushover. Practically, except for the super enemies. Exploration was so much less meaningful and so much less fun when you can just fly over everything, and there was no reason to get out of your mech. zero reason to ever fight outside your mech again. And the mech had way less strategy to the battle system. It was way more just click the button as soon as it recharges. There was a lot less strategy, like waiting for double recharges, and there's a lot less moves that you have to like go to the side or go to the back or do things like that. So I feel like it took a lot away, and it was just like for tiny amounts of better exploration, quote unquote. I feel like the world, maybe if it was like several different worlds, like several different planets you could go to, and you could fly through space, and the mechs would have been cool. But for one planet, I felt like it was just too fast. It's just no, I didn't like it. Broke the balance of the game.
That's interesting.
I feel like if they weren't in the game, you would have had to put like hundreds of more hours into it.
Yeah, I mean, it really, you know, the world is, I think it's one of the largest worlds ever made. Like, it's larger than any,
you
know, any open world game that's come out in the last like 5 years. Like, Xenoblade is pretty much larger than it.
Add fast travel. Just add fast
travel.
I actually think they had fast travel.
Yeah,
added more fast travel.
Well,
like,
I mean,
Zelda.
the gamepad features I thought were a little cumbersome. Like, I wish it was all accessible from one menu.
That was really annoying.
So it basically, you couldn't play it with a Pro Controller and not have. You could, but you wouldn't have all the features. You would have to have the gamepad in your lap. Like, that's what I did. I play with a Pro Controller, but I have the gamepad in my lap. It's like, oh, okay, you know. I like the mechs, but I kind of understand your points. And I don't know if this is confirmed yet, but do we have mounts in Xenoblade 2? Like, I've seen some the trailer, like you're running on like some sort of liger lion. Is that actually going to be a thing, or is that just like a particular segment?
Yeah, there are mounts.
Okay,
there are mounts you can use for certain characters, but they're much slower than the mechs. They can't fly.
I mean, it's fine. They're more limited. Although that flying was pretty epic. Just gotta say. Yeah. But, you know, Xenoblade X is its own game. If you want to fly around a giant, huge, beautiful world, just play Xenoblade X. You know? Yeah, so I guess there's... I don't know. I don't know what to say. We're pretty much at the end of the discussion here. We've talked about a lot. There's a lot more we can talk about, but, you know, it's getting late. So is there anything else we want to say? We love Mario Odyssey. We love Xenoblade. Actually, I want to talk a little bit about Pokemon. I haven't talked about it yet. Just, you know, a few thoughts on it. We all think it's pretty much going to come in 2018. But do you guys think it's going to be a new generation, or do you think it's going to be like a Pearl and Diamond remake, or is it going to be more along the lines of, you know, an expansion of Sun and Moon, even though Ultra Sun and Moon's already an expansion of Sun and Moon, so maybe it's not that, but what do you guys think?
I really hope it's not a Diamond Pearl remake. I feel like that'd be kind of disappointing.
Some people are really
I don't think it'll be a whole new generation. I think it might be a whole new... I don't know. No, because they said it was a mainline RPG.
I think
I don't know what it could be. I was thinking maybe it could be like a whole new style of Pokemon, but that wouldn't fit with what they kind of were hinting at. I don't know. Maybe a more open world kind of feel to it, while still being an RPG, but more open.
Yeah, since the technology will be there, I mean, why not make it bigger, right?
Well,
but I think maybe it'll be a remake, like a more open world remake of like the original Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or like some people are saying like a Red and Blue 2.
Yeah. Brandon, IGO Sean, you were gonna say something?
I think it'll be a whole different new one, 2 titles, because they have to basically update the engine, you know, new hardware. So I don't think it's going to be a port. I think it's going to be something totally new to draw people in.
I agree.
No, yeah, I mean, my opinion on
2 copies.
Is right. No, I agree with all of that.
Millions sold.
Millions upon millions. It may be the best-selling Pokemon to date. I mean, Sun and Moon was the best Pokemon selling to date, but the fact that it's been a home console in HD and it's portable, I think that hype will really just take it to a whole other level. But I think, you know, this is, when they say mainline RPG, that Game Freak is developing it, that literally means that the Pokemon franchise that we've seen on the 3DS, the DS, the Game Boy, and such is moving on to the Switch. This is not like a Pokemon XD, right, or a Gale of Darkness. This is the continuation of the Pokemon series. So if it is coming, I think there's a pretty good chance it could be a Gen 8, but it might just be like a Gen 7.5. But regardless, it's going to be a whole new story. I don't think the engine will become entirely revamped. Regardless, I'm going to be excited for it. I mean, and since you guys are talking about it, I do think it's less likely to be a remake. I think it's more likely to be, just an expanded generation. Well, not expanded generation, just like, a continuation of the series. So, but it's going to be huge. It's going to be new. It probably will be a new generation. Just maybe not like... Maybe there'll only be like 50 new Pokemon or something, or 60. Maybe not that many new Pokemon. But still, it's going to be like a whole new world. And if you look at Sun and Moon is a more open world than previous Pokemon games. You know what I mean? So, it's...
Yeah.
I think they've been steadily moving in a more open direction. So I think this next one's going to make an even bigger jump. This may be the biggest jump we've seen from Pokemon yet, but if you pay attention to the Game Freak, they're usually pretty reserved about their jumps. Like Pokemon's almost been kind of like a generation behind, like forever. So they're kind of catching up now. So I wouldn't expect this next Pokemon game to look like, Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. I think it'll look a little bit, maybe not too far off, but it'll be a little bit more simplified than that. But it's still a lot more open than Sun and Moon.
I'm thinking they really will make it like really open world. I think they could have some really good ideas for that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure because I'm not too familiar with the Pokemon franchise, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think they should go more open world.
I don't know. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be
a
huge jump for Game Freak.
Go
That's
a whole
the
new
thing.
direction.
It's a huge
I was kind
jump
of hoping
for Game
they
Freak.
go a whole new direction and make it to where it was like open world, but like Pokken style fighting, but open world, because that'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Where you actually like controlled your Pokemon and then you just met wild Pokemon and you fought them in real time, which would be pretty amazing. But obviously that's not what they're doing. It's just I kind of was hoping they would do that.
See. Well, the thing is, they've been moving in that direction
cool
too.
as
Because
well.
when you move through the grass now, the grass is a lot more open and 3D-ish. But you see a lot of times there are Pokemon moving in the grass now, and you can kind of avoid them and stuff. So it's been progressively getting more and more open. So it may be kind of more like Xenoblade, where you run around, and you literally see enemies around you. It could be like that. It's possible.
I would really like that a lot.
It would be a huge jump. That would get people crazy.
I don't see
about
that
it.
happening.
Yeah.
Maybe for the one after this one, maybe they'll go more conservative for this first Switch Pokemon game, and then the next Pokemon game for Switch will be like really just like completely new and original and just completely different.
There's precedent for that because we got Generation 6, and then which has already seemed kind of like a kind of a sizable jump from Generation 5, but then Generation 7. X and Y to Sun and Moon was even more like a half generational jump. So we may get like 2 generations during the Switch era, and they'll each be like kind of like a half jump up. Although it may be like a 1.5 jump up first, and then a half jump up from that because they have to do a lot of catching up to be on the Switch. So, yeah, I guess that's what I have to say about Pokemon. I think Metroid Prime 4. It's coming out 2018 probably, hopefully, maybe. What else is there to say? I guess this is the end of the discussion, guys. We talked about a lot.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, what's up? Also, shout out to Josh. Thanks for the poster compliment.
Did any of you see any of the other press conferences for the other companies?
I saw bits and pieces.
In passing.
Bits and pieces.
Passing, yeah.
I more just looked at a lot of the trailers. Afterwards.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I saw some of it. The actual conference itself. Most of the trailers.
I'm a little bit confused about Monster Hunter World. Apparently, Sony paid out. This is not confirmed. These are rumors, right? So don't take it with a grain of salt. But the speculation that most people seem to believe is that Sony paid out Capcom to not put Monster Hunter World on the Switch. Like they literally paid out to not do it. Which is kind of crazy because it can be on Xbox and PC, but that doesn't matter because no one plays Xbox or PC in Japan.
I doubt it.
You doubt that they paid him out?
Yeah, I don't know, it sounds a little too shady.
Sony does that, though. That's not...
Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's...
But that's more like an exclusive thing. It's not like paying someone to... not put something on something else, but something else.
Sony's done things to really, they're. I'm not trying to say Sony's bad. They're not bad, but they've had a very aggressive marketing scheme beforehand. Like Sony basically killed the Dreamcast. I don't know if you know about that, but like when the Dreamcast was out, like there was like an aggressive like Sony marketing campaign to make the Dreamcast seem shitty. You know, like it wasn't. I mean, Sega was not in good shape to begin with, right? But Sony really came out hard, and they put like the nail in the coffin for Dreamcast. Like Sony does this sometimes when they feel jeopardized. They have really aggressive marketing campaigns. I mean, they also played out. They also contributed to the GameCube looking like a kiddie system. They did that as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Regardless, Monster Hunter World is not on the Switch. So I mean, that's
what's
not
funny is it's coming out. It's coming out on Xbox One, and what is there? 5 consoles in Japan? Xbox One?
Right?
Right, like
They sell like, you know,
it's not going to make that much money. Like they would make more money by putting it on Switch than they would on Xbox One, and it's not even a point of contention, right? So if you consider it that way, maybe there was some sort of payout, because if Capcom can put it on Xbox, they'd rather put it on Switch. Like even if they have to downgrade all the textures and such, I mean they'll do it. So. I don't know. I think Ubisoft did a good job. I'm excited about Skyrim Switch. I don't think there's any really big major games at this E3. I think that's the thing. Like I think a lot of the games that we saw this year were basically games we already knew about beforehand.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a situation where Sony and Microsoft are going through like not dead periods but slow periods for their games, and Nintendo's just like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Smash Bros, Pikmin, like, you know. So, but the entire Wii U era was a dead era for Nintendo. So, you know, it's cyclical in those ways. I'm sure in a couple of years, Xbox will come back really, really strong. So,
I feel like Sony just doesn't give a crap anymore. They're like, dude, we're like the top dog. We have so many consoles, we don't even need to try anymore. And so they're just sitting back like, and we're good, we're just making money. They're just sitting on their piles of cash being like, yep, I don't need to do anything anymore.
They mailed it in. They better be careful.
So crappy.
They better be careful, though. They need to learn from the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, because they killed with PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3 came out, and Microsoft kicked their ass over here in the U.S.
Same thing that happens literally any time a company dominates. The next generation of them just sucks because they don't give a crap anymore. And they think the fans are just going to come right on back, but they don't.
They have the truth.
That is really... that's a good point, actually. I mean, yeah, the PS3 struggled at first, but, like, it caught up to the 360. Like, not right there, but right behind. But I guess, like, that push they made really carried over into the PS4, right? And then if you look at the Wii era, like, Nintendo did really well in the beginning, and then they kind of, like, the last years of the Wii kind of sucked, right? Like, so the momentum was already dead.
Yeah.
And then they waited a year. And then they released the Wii U. And they had no games for the Wii U. And you have to wait a whole other year to get some games. And you have to wait 2 or 3 years to get good games. And by that point, the Wii U was dead, like way dead already, you know? So, yeah. And then throughout that time, Nintendo had to, like, do really well. And as for Microsoft, I don't know. Microsoft's kind of like... I mean, 360 was like their best generation ever, obviously, right? And Xbox One, you know,
a good debut.
Right.
No, I used to like Xbox back in the original Xbox days and the Xbox 360. Well, mostly I liked the Xbox, the original, because of Halo. Pretty much nothing else on there mattered that much, except for Splinter Cell, which was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Xbox 360 came out, and there were so many games I loved. And then the Xbox One came out, I was like, and this piece of crap. There's nothing on here I want to play. Everything else is on the other consoles, and the other consoles have the better versions and exclusive to go along with it. It's like, why do I want this console? And it's more expensive to get the Xbox, typically. It's like, why would I want this?
We're in a weird generation because we got 2 mid-generation consoles that are expensive. We got the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is $400, and Xbox One, which is going to be $500 for a mid-gen system. And I think that a lot of these companies are counting way too much on power over games. You can have as much power as you want, but if you don't have the games, it ain't going to do shit. You know?
Yeah.
And
I think
$500 for a system. That's a lot of money.
Agree. Especially when
That-
you could just put $500 into a super good graphics card, and it would be better than your Xbox One X and have exclusives.
And
on
that's the
PC.
weird thing, because then Microsoft puts most of their games on PC already. Like, they
You
make
have
a
all
big
the
deal,
Xbox
oh, if it's
exclusives.
Windows 10, you can play it
Stupid.
wherever you want. So then why even buy an Xbox with the
so
same
dumb.
money you can get a more powerful PC? You know, you
And
can
also,
build...
if you're on the fence about buying either one, instead of Xbox One, which is $500, you could buy a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One for $500. You could buy both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and then
Yeah.
have a better, like, or just buy a Switch and something else, you know?
Not that I'm
Um,
knocking, because I own everything. It's just that I don't. I think we're getting too far. Like, people are relying way too much on power. You know, it's. I don't know. It's about the games. It's always been about the games to me, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, in defense of the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, which is probably the abbreviation of Xbox, it's I think what they're doing is they're not trying to gain the entire market share with PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. It's more of just releasing different types of platforms to cater to different people. It's kind of like what they did with the 3DS. You have the 2DS XL, you have the 2DS, you have the 3DS, you have 3DS XL, and new 3DS. All these different systems kind of cater to a slightly different demographic. And I think we're going to see something similar with a Switch. Like, we've heard the speculation and predictions by analysts that we'll get a Switch Mini. And I've predicted this before. I don't know if it'll come true. I kind of hope it will, but I think we'll have the normal Switch, and eventually we'll have a Switch Mini, and eventually we'll have maybe like a 4K dock, right? But this 4K dock and Switch Mini are going to be like, they're not going to sell as much as the actual Switch, right? They're kind of like branching out platforms to appeal to a slightly different demographic, so they can make even more money. So that's the way I see the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. But the problem with the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro is that they're really pushing developers to get into 4K, which makes things more expensive, it takes more money, and like you said, Sean, it just doesn't look like they have a lot of games to back it up.
How many people out there have 4K TVs right now?
I don't. I
know
want
people,
one, but I don't.
But I don't really see the need
I
of
have
it
one.
for it. I don't like it. That's the thing. Like, maybe we would save up for one if we felt like we would actually, kind of like use the 4K feature.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if I was a hardcore PC gamer, maybe I would have like a big 4K monitor. But I'm not. So it's interesting. I definitely don't want to just say Nintendo's the best and the other companies suck, but Nintendo's the best and the other companies aren't as good. They don't suck though.
Yeah. I think PlayStation's lately they've been a little lacking, but they were doing really well, and I actually really want to get a PS4 Pro and get a 4K TV and start playing that, and get some games on my PC as well. So it's just pretty much mostly Xbox for me. That just sucks. It's just like, why would I ever want that? But I actually want a PlayStation 4 Pro. Like, legitimately, I want to get one.
They're nice. I got one right here. It's. I used to have a 4K TV. I took it back because it went up. But you can tell a difference. It's just it's so damn expensive. I think the percentage of people out there now, it's like 10%. You know? So you're basically trying to sell to 10% of the marketplace.
It's going down. I saw a 55-inch 4K TV for like $500 at Walmart. I was like, dang, I want one now.
$350
Hmm.
at Walmart.
Yeah, they're getting pretty cheap nowadays.
Yeah, and then you have to look
It's
out for
not cheap enough to be mainstream.
HDR and all that other stuff. And
Yeah. I don't even like exactly what HDR is. I just hear that word and I go, ooh, pretty shiny.
High dynamic range.
yeah,
Whoa, it's probably good, but I don't actually know.
Alright, guys. So I think we've reached the natural conclusion to this discussion. Nintendo did amazing. We're all excited about Metroid and Pokemon. We think those are going to be coming. Mario Odyssey looks like a competitor against Breath of the Wild. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced. It may be coming to Switch. We don't know. Third-party support is still a big question for Nintendo, but they have so many great games like Xenoblade and Splatoon coming that it doesn't really seem to matter right now. And 2018 seems to be just as good. And as far as the other companies, well, we hope the game situation improves. But overall, right now, Nintendo seems to be doing the best. So those are my thoughts. I think all of you guys agree. Do any of you disagree at all? Any final thoughts?
No, that's pretty much my thoughts too.
I agree.
All right. Well, All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any other questions or thoughts or topics you want us to get to next week or beyond, let us know. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out Monolith Gaming, What About Nintendo, and Inside Gaming Online. They also have great channels with great content. Please check them out. And I will see you guys all really soon. Bye.
See you guys.
See ya.